Hello. Welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Arin. Wrap yourself in your most comfortable quilt and let tonight's soothing story and delicate sounds melt away your worries, guiding you into a peaceful and calming sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Kindheart Meadows and the sleepy giant tale of Nurturing Nook. Hidden amidst the rolling hills of Kindheart Meadows, a secret garden lies tucked away. It is a sacred place known as the Nurturing Nook, where time seems to pause and the world joins in harmony. Here, the earth is soft beneath the feet, blanketed by a gentle tapestry of moss and wildflowers. The air is warm, but carries a refreshing hint of dew, kissed by the first rays of morning light. The Nurturing Nook is no ordinary garden. It is tended to by the gentle hands of the giants, whose care and love allow nature to flourish in its vivid splendor. Enclosed within a sheltering ring of ancient oak trees, their trunks thick and gnarled with centuries of stories, the Nurturing Nook exudes an aura of safety. The sunlight filters through the leafy canopy in glowing shafts of gold, creating a dappled dance of light and shadow on the ground below. Each tree seems to whisper a quiet welcome, their leaves rustling softly like a lullaby sung by the forest's orchestra. At the heart of the nook stands a grand stone fountain, its edges smooth from years of care. Crystal clear water gently spills over its tears, the sound of the cascade as soothing as a babbling brook. The fountain's song fills the garden with a soft melody, blending with the rustle of leaves and birdsong, a natural symphony that wraps around you like a warm cloak. The beds of the garden are a masterpiece of colour and texture. Rows of vibrant vegetables line one side, their leaves bouncing the light backwards. Deep green lettuces nestle beside plump, juicy tomatoes that glisten like tiny red suns. Patches of golden squash stretch lazily, their blossoms delicate and pale against the rich soil. Cucumber vines climb gracefully along trellises made of woven willow, their tendrils curling like a child's laughter frozen in the air. Nearby, a collection of fruit trees stands proudly in the fertile soil. Their twisted branches cradle a bounty of pears, apples, and peaches, each fruit ripening in perfect harmony with the sun. The trees swayed gently, as though rocking their treasures to sleep. From time to time, an apple tumbles gracefully to the ground, landing in the soft grass with the softest of thuds. It is as though the garden offers its gifts, inviting all who enter to share in its abundance. Scattered throughout the Nurturing Nook are vibrant clusters of flowers, their fragrance drifting on the breeze. Lilies, daffodils, and lavender form playful patches of colour, while hardy sunflowers stand tall, their heads following the arc of the sun's daily path. The giants have carefully planted each bloom, creating a tapestry that soothes the spirit and sparks joy. Even the tiniest flowers are treated with utmost care, their presence a testament to the belief that every small thing has its place and purpose. One of the giants, kindly and deliberate, moves between the beds with enormous but gentle hands. Her name is Orla, and her movements are an extension of the garden's rhythm. Orla's touch is protective, but light, as though she knows each plant's secret desires. Beneath her fingers, leaves stretch with gratitude, and fruits shine with life. Her beautiful voice spills into the air like honey, rippling out and blending seamlessly with the fountain's water song. At the edges of the nook, a small orchard hums with life. Bees flit from blossom to blossom in hypnotic patterns, their buzz both industrious and mesmerizing. Butterflies stretch their stained glass wings as they hover delicately over gentle daisies. Even the bluebirds take part in this harmony, their cheerful chirps punctuating the melodies that fill the air. Here, in the nurturing nook, every creature and every plant belongs to the same quiet, peaceful pulse. Across the garden, another giant lumbers carefully, his footsteps soft despite his size. This is Rua, whose eyes twinkled with warmth. He pauses beside the fountain, cradling a watering can carved from glistening stone. With precision, he tips the can, sending sparkling droplets over the rows of green. Each droplet lands with a tender patter, like a soft drumbeat, feeding the earth and enriching its ability to nurture life. Near the entrance of the nook, a winding gravel path leads to a cozy, ivy-covered hut. It's a place where giants rest between their tending. But even this shelter feels like a seamless part of the garden. The walls are alive with vines of blooming morning glories, their trumpet-shaped flowers opening wide to greet the light. Inside, the space smells faintly of chamomile and cedar. A small wooden table holds an assortment of clay pots and pouches filled with seeds, each one waiting for its turn to bring something wonderful into being. Beyond the garden beds lies a grassy knoll, where families from Kindheart Meadows often gather. This part of the nook feels open and spacious, with the sky above uninterrupted by the leafy canopy. It is here that picnics are spread and laughter mingles with the warm breeze. Little giants chase one another among the flowers, their giggles harmonizing with the orchestra of nature. When the giants appear with baskets overflowing with fruits and vegetables, the little ones pause their play, their eyes wide with wonder at the bounty. When the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the nurturing nook takes on an even more magical quality. The fading light paints the garden in hues of gold, peach, and cerulean. Fireflies emerge, their tiny lanterns flickering among the flowers, creating a mesmerizing dance of light. Orla and Rua carry glowing lanterns of their own, their luminescence mirroring the fireflies. Together with the garden's radiance, it feels as though the nook prepares for rest, its nightly ritual as steady and certain as any sunrise. But the care does not end with the setting sun. At night, the delicate rhythm of the nurturing nook continues. Gentle breezes murmur across the sleeping plants, while the fountain's song never ceases. The giants take turns watching over the garden, their presence a constant reassurance. Orla will sometimes walk the paths silently, her hands trailing along the tops of the taller plants as if wishing them pleasant dreams. And so the nurturing nook, like a living being, inhales and exhales its peace. The plants drink in the moonlight, the fruits and flowers weave their songs into the rich tapestry of life, and the soil cradles the seeds of tomorrow. All is safe and simple here, in a place where growth and care abide hand in hand. And though the nurturing nook is a place of wonder and magic, perhaps its greatest gift is reminding us that we too have the power to create beauty and harmony wherever we go. At the heart of the nurturing nook, where the fountain's song spilled endlessly into the air, the night began to weave itself into a fabric of calm. The warm golden light of the giant's lanterns faded slowly, blending with the soft glow of moonlight, pouring between branches and reflecting off the surface of the fountain's pool. The trees seemed almost to whisper to one another, their leaves rustling in little packs, as though relaying secrets carried by the gentle breeze. The creatures of the day had long retreated to their nests and dens, content in their slumber, yet the night was alive with its own choreography. Owls hooted softly from the high-canopied trees, their calls resonating with an ancient melody that filled the night sky with mystery and comfort. Moths fluttered delicately around the lanterns, still stationed along the garden's pathways, their pale, powdery wings catching the brief light as they traced lazy spirals through the air. Orla stood silently beneath an old oak, her gaze turned upward to the star-dappled sky. The sturdy tree's roots wound deep into the earth, intertwined as much with soil as with the spirit of the nook. She reached out toward the tree's weathered bark, her massive fingertips grazing the surface, just enough to feel the slow, steady pulse beneath, like the slow rhythm of a giant's heartbeat, only older, reaching back to a time even the stars barely remembered. Orla marveled at the serenity housed in this living monument. The tree, like her, existed to protect, nurture, and weather the passage of time with grace. The grassy knoll nearby lay bathed in moonlight now, its wide expanse smooth and gentle as rolling waves frozen in time. It was here that Rua had settled for the moment, his broad figure reclining slowly against the curve of the grass. He sprawled comfortably to gaze at the stars above, his stone watering can set to the side, as though it, too, deserved a moment of reprieve. Nearby, foxes stole playfully into the edges of the nook, their eyes gleaming like amber jewels in the moon's glow. They darted through the underbush, quick and soundless, pausing only for moments to raise their heads and sniff the cool, fragrant air. Somewhere among the brush, a hedgehog waddled unhurriedly before curling into a prickly ball, secure in the safety of the garden. The nurturing nook was never absent of life. It simply shifted, guiding its rhythms from the bright energy of day to the quiet harmony of night. At the farthest edge of the garden, the orchard stood shrouded in shadows that softened its edges. The fruit still clung to the trees in silent patience, their colours subdued but no less vibrant beneath the little light that touched them. Beneath the trees, the soft earth had grown cool, the moisture of the day collecting droplets of dew. When morning came, these tiny beads of water would glimmer like scattered diamonds in the rising sun, a quiet gift to the plants that grew there. Back among the flower beds, the breeze shifted just enough to ripple through the taller blooms, blending their delicate necks without breaking their steadfast roots. Lavender emitted its soothing aroma more strongly now, as though the air sought to cradle the nook in comfort. A family of rabbits emerged from their warren beneath a rose bush and began to nibble at patches of clover growing wild among the rows. Orla did not disturb them. They belonged to the nurturing nook as much as any flower, tree, or fountain. Though the work of tending might have paused, the care persisted in subtler ways. Rua's gaze seemed distant now as he traced the constellations overhead. His thoughts carried the weight of his responsibility to this place, but not as a burden, rather as a sense of purpose, so deeply rooted it felt like his very essence. The stars twitched beautifully, as though they, too, acknowledged the giant's efforts. Before long, Rua rose with careful deliberation, his towering silhouette moving smoothly back toward the flower beds. His watering can swung gently in his grip, and his steps brought the promise of sustenance, even in the stillness of night. Each droplet Rua sprinkled sang softly as it met the soil, adding its tender beats to the nook's nocturnal symphony. The giant's task seemed endless, yet he performed it with neither complaint nor hesitation. The vibrancy of the garden spoke louder than any words. It was his answer, his affirmation, that this constant care served its purpose. Farther along the path, Orla knelt near one of the newer saplings on the garden's perimeter. It was a young oak with sap that glistened like amber beneath the moonlight. Her massive hands hovered over the small tree, fingers tracing the air just above its delicate branches. There was no hurry here. She watched, listened, and felt for the invisible presence of growth, an awareness that might never be seen but was always felt. The sapling stood straighter under her gaze, as though bolstered by her innate understanding of its potential. Back at the ivy-covered hut near the entrance, the morning glories shivered, each bloom now closed in response to the night, rested with the same expectation of dawn that stirred within the hearts of all who dwelled in the nook. Inside, the tabletops were tidy and prepared, with seeds ready to be scattered, and pots eager for the little sprouts they would cradle. scent of chamomile lingered heavily here, like an anchor for calm, ensuring the energy of the nook always maintained its balance. The hours wore on with patient grace, each moment braided seamlessly into the next without urgency. Time seemed slower here, as though each tick of the clock knew better than to rush where such deliberate care reigned. The fireflies continued their star-like dances, their glow synchronized with the unspoken rhythm that guided everything under the Nurturing Nook's storied canopy. Aura's shadow finally melded into Rua's as the two giants crossed paths near the centre of the garden. Neither paused. There was no need for spoken exchanges. They moved as though their roles and duties were shared through some unspoken bond so deeply intertwined with the garden that even their movements felt like an extension of its lifeblood. As the darkest part of the night began to give way to the mildest suggestion of dawn, the birds began to stir within their nests. Their songs would come later, as sunlight brushed against the branches where they roosted. But for now, only the faint rustle of feathers could be heard among the trees. Somewhere near the fountain, Rua finished his circuit of watering, the last droplets falling over a freshly planted patch of herbs. The scent of mint and thyme mingled subtly within the lavender in the air, creating a blend both invigorating and calming. Before long, the stars began to blink out one by one, replaced by the pale pinks and soft blues of the approaching morning. The Nurturing Nook exhaled slowly, as though it had been holding its breath all night and was now ready to awaken fully. The giant's work continued with the rising sun, but now it would be joined by the songs of birds and insects, the warm caress of sunlight, and the playful energy of little giants who came to explore this wondrous place. The Nurturing Nook never slept, but it did rest, a quiet interval during where its inhabitants could reflect on their purpose and recharge for another day. And as each new dawn brought fresh possibilities to the garden, so too did it remind those who tended to it that their bond with this magical place was unbreakable. For within its boundaries they nurtured not just plants, but the very essence of life's bloom. The Nurturing Nook was a sanctuary, a haven, and most importantly, a home for all who cherished its beauty and tended to its flourishing. And as long as such love and care continued to be poured into it, the garden would remain an eternal refuge for both nature and soul alike. In this idyllic garden known as the Nurturing Nook, time seemed to hold no sway over those who cared for it. For these giants were not bound by the constraints of human perception. Instead, they were attuned to the ebb and flow of nature, to the beating heart of the garden. Their gentle touch and unwavering dedication sustained this haven, allowing it to thrive beautifully. But within these ivy-covered walls, there was only peace and harmony. The Nurturing Nook was a place where magic still thrived, where the whispers of ancient wisdom could be heard in every rustle of leaves and every chirping bird. It was a reminder that amidst all the noise and distractions of modern life, there still existed a haven for those who sought solace and connection with nature. And so, as the nurturing nook will welcome the golden light of morning after a long, restful sleep, its story settled gently into the hearts of those who visited. The giant's tireless care and the garden's quiet splendor wove together a tapestry of calm and renewal, wrapping each soul in a deep sense of belonging. Here, in this serene oasis, the burdens of the day melted away, replaced by an abiding peace that lingered long after the dreamer awoke. The nurturing nook's gentle magic reminded all who experienced it that even in the stillness of night, life continues to grow, heal, and flourish, waiting to greet the new day with an open heart.